after seeing this video, hopefully you'll make a wise decision when you're planting trees, because at first when you plant them, even 5 feet apart looks like a good distance. But then as they grow, you start to realize real quick you might have planted them too close. So hopefully you'll learn and take my advice from this video and save yourself time and money and everything. Hello everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees, and today I have a very educational video for you guys that I really hope you're going to listen to, because when I first planted these trees, I first wanted to plant them farther apart, but people kept telling me about this high intensity gardening and you could plant them small and so on, and I've made mistakes that I want you to learn from. Taste the mangoes before you put them in the ground, make sure you like them. Learn about the growing habits of each tree, so you make sure that you're not planting a giant tree that's going to grow too tall or too quick. And I continue to learn about certain things. I was recently at with Orlando Gardener, and he plants in pots the bigger trees because that limits the growth. He won't put a big tree in the ground because he knows it'll just take over everything. And all these things are things I've been learning, and I want to pass on to you in my videos. That's why I make these videos, to learn and to teach you as well. Well, today I'm going to talk about how close or how far apart we should plant trees. I'm going to look at specifically mango trees, but all fruit trees you can apply this to. And I'm going to show you why this high-intensity garden thing is not realistic. And, you know, some people say if you're going to prune, then you could do it. From my experience, from all the people I've interviewed, and even from now, from looking at these trees, I would say 16 to 20 feet apart for most mango trees. And if it's a super mango tree, maybe 25 feet apart. Even though you want to keep the mango tree small, you still want to have enough room between them. And when I go to different mango farms, I see how they're doing it. And from what I've seen, Alex at Tropical Acres Farms is doing it 16 feet apart in the long run. At first, he might do them 8 feet, but eventually he's going to take a tree out. And then he's going to have them 6 feet apart. And he's doing that on a commercial level, so he wants to get that extra tree in between. But you're just creating more work for yourself to have 2 or 3 years of a tree in the middle. So that's the situation I'm in. So I'm going to show you some of my trees today and show you why I'm going to redo some things. I'm taking some trees out, and also the different varieties I like and I don't like, and check it out. Here it goes. So I got 2 yards of mango trees here, and my neighbor's yard as well, that I can use as a example. But here is my lemon zest tree. And so when I originally planted this tree, I had right in the corner there a pineapple pleasure, and here I planted a sweet tart. And then later on, I put in this sugarloaf. So somebody told me as long as they're 8 feet apart, that's fine. They can grow 4 feet on each side, and you could still get mangoes. Maybe. You see, this sugarloaf that's growing is small right now, 4 feet aside. If you keep them this size, maybe. But you're not going to get much mangoes on a tree this size, unless it's like a Pickering or something, like a super dwarf tree. Which, in that case, if you're limited on space, you might even keep it in a pot if you have a dwarf tree. But, so, right away I realized I made a mistake by planting a pineapple pleasure there. Definitely would have been too close. 8 feet's not going to work if that was in there. So here we have these 2 trees, and this lemon zest is a good sized tree. This is the biggest I want this tree to get. So I'm going to, there's still a couple of lemon zest mangoes still on there, so I'm about to cut this back. I'm going to do another video on cutting back trees and pruning trees. But I'm about to cut this back right after I get those last ones off there. The height, that's the highest I want to go. The width, that's the most I want to go. I want to keep that size. Now, this sweet tart here, the mangoes are so heavy and at the end of the branches that it's bending the branches, so it doesn't look like it's taking up a lot of space. But if this mango tree was as big and beautiful and as wide as that tree, it would be too big. They would be too wide. And this will be that big in the future. So this isn't even going to work. Then on the other side here, this, let me move this out of the way. This sugarloaf is going to get the size of that lemon zest. There's no way that this is going to fit here. The sweet tart's going to fit there, and that lemon zest is going to fit there. It's too tight. I'm going to have to take out this sweet tart. I'm going to have to do it. Because when this sugarloaf grows to the size of that lemon zest, there's going to be no room for this sweet tart. So that's just an example of some of the things I'm showing you here today. Now, you can train a tree to grow on one side and so on. This here is a really big tree called a cac. So this is not a good space because it's going to grow really big. However, my neighbor on his other side is going to be able to get most of it, which he doesn't mind. He loves cac, so it's going to be great for him. But I'm going to have to do a lot of pruning on this tree to keep it away from this jackfruit tree here. This tree in the middle here is one of my Atemoyas, or my sugar apples. You can keep this one small. This will grow big and keep it small, but again, it's too close to that one. So what I've done here is with that lemon zest, and then I had a pineapple pleasure, and then I have a sweet tart, then I have a sugarloaf, then I have this sugar apple, and then I have that cac. If I had to do it all over again, I'd have the lemon zest. I wouldn't even have planted the sweet tart or the pineapple pleasure in that area. And this is a great spot for the sugarloaf. I wouldn't have planted this sugar apple and the cac there. Live and learn. And it's not too bad because I could take these out. I'm going to take the sweet tart out. I'm going to take this out eventually. I'll have to. So let's look some more here before we go over to Mangoland, and I'll show you. So this is a jackfruit that is growing nice, and jackfruits are a little different. Jackfruits and avocados will grow to their space. So they'll grow skinny and stay skinny if they don't have room on the sides. So you're not going to run into as many issues. You can grow jackfruits close, and they'll grow straight up and skinny if you train them that way and let them that way. With mangoes, they want to branch out wide. But that's one jackfruit that's doing great. This is my China. Wonderful. Then I have this Boca Champignon, which I'm going to do another video on later. Let me come out here. That's growing really big. And yeah, it's still too close. It's too close. These two trees, the Boca Champignon and the China, are too close. So I'm going to make another video about those another time. Now, here are some other trees. So these trees, these two trees here, and I don't want to have any comments about that wagon there. I found it. I didn't take it. But I took it when I found it. But anyway, these two trees here are lemon meringue trees. And these are about 12 feet apart. This is working right now. Once these fruits are done, I'm going to trim these trees. I'm going to make another video on that. These trees are working. This is about 12 feet apart on the lemon meringues. They're working. I don't know long term if they're going to continue working, but they're working now. But still, if I was just another 3 feet apart, it'd be perfect. So 15, 16, 17 feet is wonderful. This here was my cherry tree that I'm top working, and I'm going to make it into something else, but I want to make sure I'm going to make it into a smaller variety or a mid-size, not a big tree. Because if I put something like a Bombay or a Valkyrie here, it's going to take over the whole yard. So I have some other trees in the back there that are a little close, and we'll see what happens. But I want to go over to Mangoland and show you that, and show you really why I figured out you can't plant trees too close. Okay, everybody, here we are in Mangoland, and I'm going to show you some of the issues with the trees. Now, if you want to keep them super small and prune them, it may work. But everybody I spoke to said they get out of hand because they can't keep up on the pruning. But here I put a peach cobbler, which enough space there. And over there I have a step mango. That's perfect. I don't know, that might be 20 feet apart, 25 feet apart. That's perfect. No matter how big those grow, they're going to be good. Now here on this side, we got some issues. So this is a little gem. This is a Nam Duc Mai. Then I have an orange essence. And I planted all these 10 feet apart. Then right behind it here, I have an 015. You can see it's already getting big into the Nam Duc Mai. Now, here's something to consider. You can get away with planting them close, but 3 sides of the tree should be open. So if this is too close to these, it has 3 sides over here open. So that's okay. If you just lose one side, because if these are going to touch, the middle's going to get shady, and you're not going to get fruit production as much on the inside as you will the outside where the sun can get to. But when this Nam Duc Mai grows, it's going to take up a whole nother side. Now you're only leaving 2 sides left. Now I've seen people plant 3 or 4 mangoes in one hole within 2 feet from each other. And all the ones in the middle they're losing. And the ones in the end they'll get a little production, but you want sun on the trees. So I got 2 choices here with this. If I take out that 015, this Nam Duc Mai can stay, and it has all this room here to grow, but it's going to end up touching this on this side. But still, the issue is this orange essence. So my answer for this would be to take out the Nam Duc Mai, giving the orange essence and the little gem behind there. They might touch in the middle, but they'll still have a room on each side. I'm going to have to eventually move this 015 maybe, because that'll still have room on this side, so maybe I'll keep that. Ultimately, the best thing to have done would have been not to plant that 015 there. Not to plant these 2 here. Keep the little gem there, and that's a sunrise, and keep that there. That ultimately would have been the ideal. But these are too close in this area. Now, there's the pina colada. They don't grow that big. But still, that sunrise grows big, and that's a dot that grows big. This gotta go. And it'd be better without. If I didn't have this, it'd just be a better spacing deal. This one definitely is too close. This one's a Seacrest. This one's gotta go because it's messing my whole thing up, the Seacrest. I just took out a Fairchild. So the Fairchild, and I love all these mangoes. I'm gonna move them, or I don't know what, maybe sell them, but I love the Fairchild, but I had to get rid of it because that was taking up stuff, even though it was a smaller one. That's a Bailey's Marble that grows way too big. However, I am getting rid of that Kathy. So that might be good here, but there's a problem because the one behind it is a white Paris, which might be an issue. Over here, these are 4 that I love and I gotta keep. This is my coconut cream. It's going to get 3 sides. This here is a Sugarloaf. If I take this Bailey's Marble out, the Sugarloaf should be okay. Here we have a Graham, which I really like. And there's a Guava. That row I'm going to keep. Here, I'm taking out an Edward here. I already took out a Giselle because I want to keep this Super Alfonso. This buttercream, it's a small one, but it's not in the best spot. And then I got this Phoenix here. Basically, what I'm saying, folks, is plan to do about 16 to 20 feet between trees, depending on the size of the tree. If it's a super big tree like that Bailey's Marble, you might want to do 25 feet. pick the few trees that you definitely want. And each person, their taste is going to be different. For me, the Super Alfonso is a keeper. I want the Super Alfonso. I can do without the Edward and the buttercream. Super Alfonso, this area is my Super Alfonso area. And this is for me. Some of you like other things better. This guava is a keeper. I'm keeping it. There's a sweet tart behind it. We'll see how it does. But I'm keeping this guava. As I come around here, I like this gram. I'm keeping the gram. That Sugarloaf I love, but it's not in a good spot. It's not in a good spot. So we'll see what happens as this gram and that coconut cream grow. But I'm planning on keeping that. And here's a Phoenix, which is distance enough from everything. I'm going to keep, except maybe that white Paris, but we'll see. And I get more than enough mangoes off these trees. I don't need all these trees. That's another thing. I wanted to get every variety. I don't need all these trees. I get more than enough. This year, none of these, only some of these trees fruited. I mean, on my Super Alfonso, I had about maybe 15, 20 mangoes this year. It's been more than enough. So this is just for my learning experience, everyone. And here, I already took a whole row out because I knew I foreseen an issue. I got rid of a Venus, I got rid of a Excalibur, and I moved my peach cobbler. I have some trees along the edge there. They're just along the edge. I'm not concerned with those as much. There's a Pickering, that's a dwarf. There's a Malika, there's a seedling. There's an Edgar that's not too close. Here, you see another issue. This is a Glen. Gotta go. Glen is going. I'm going to keep my fruit punch. So when that Glen goes, that gives more than enough room for this gram and that fruit punch. 20 feet. That's what you want. 10 feet. Not good. These are definitely going to grow into each other and be an issue. So I'm foreseeing this now, and I can still pull these out of the ground and sell them. And that's my plan. And then behind this is a cotton candy. Still kind of close between the cotton candy and the fruit cocktail, but there's 3 other sides to both of these. That'll be fine. Once I get rid of this Glen, I'll be looking good over there. These trees take off, and you don't realize this when you're growing, but they do. So there's an ST Maui. That's a big space I left for an ST Maui. There's a Khazar. There's a Carla. And there's a small ice cream in there. And then we could just kind of get an idea. I didn't plant in this area because it's a drain field. But I'll show you from this side here, and you can see what I'm talking about. You see, this fruit cocktail is going to grow big. I'm not going to let them get tall. I'm going to control how wide they get. But this 10 feet is not going to work. And that's a cotton candy. Maybe I'll get by on these because I still get 3 sides of it. Gotta plan better, folks. Don't be like me. Taking out that Glen. We'll see what happens with that Sugarloaf. I'll try to do it, but it's not in a good spot. You know, so either... Yeah, I'm going to keep the Sugarloaf right now and see what happens. Everything else here, buttercream, it's not that big. I'll try to keep it. Edward in the back there is going to get too big. You got to understand, these canopies are going to grow really wide. It's going to create an issue. And the white Paris, it has a whole other side to grow. I'm pretty sure if I get rid of this Bailey's Marble, we'll be good with the white Paris over there. Bailey's Marble is just going to take up this whole area. It's a big grower. A great tree. It just grows too big. These are great trees. And we'll see what happens to that Seacrest. It's not in a good spot. But it may work. We'll see. And then Kathy's going. And just to give you an example here in my front yard, these are dwarf trees, so I can get away with planting them much closer. We'll see. I think I can. We have an ice cream. We have a rosy gold. Over here I have a honey kiss. It's still kind of tight. I might have to take some out, but I think I'm going to have a much better chance here with these dwarf trees. Okay, everybody, so as you can see, I got some work to do on these trees. We'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes. And I'm okay. I'm okay. You live and you learn. And these are just some things I decided to do. And I put this here, the Pineapple Pleasure. I have more than enough room here for that. And it's all an experience too. It's what it is. It's just an experience. We're gonna do what we gotta do and experience it and see how it goes and how it grows and all that good stuff. So if you have comments or questions, let me know. Let me go over to my neighbor's yard and show you some of his trees. And his trees are bigger than mine, and we'll see what's happening there and give you more of a better idea. Okay, here is his front yard, and right away you can see the issue. He has a Namduk Mai tree right here, and that's supposed to be a small Namduk Mai as opposed to the bigger variety ones, but he has two Jabocabas here that are slow growers, and mangoes grow much faster. So that tree, that Namduk Mai, is about to take over these two trees, and thankfully these Jabos like some shade, but it's still too close. And you're going to see if that gets a little bigger, that tree, it's going to overtake these trees. So here's, still in his front yard, he has this curry tree and he has a cotton candy. He planted them, I'd say maybe 15 feet apart. And if he keeps his curry tree no taller than that, it looks like it'll work. But that cotton candy is going to grow bigger. It's going to be cutting it close. So even with these medium-sized growing trees, you're safer with 20 feet. Alright everybody, as much as I hated to make this video to show my mistakes, I'm correcting my mistakes. So that's the other thing, to keep up on it. And it's alright. You know, things happen. That's how you learn. And you also might have a different opinion. You might want to plant close and keep pruning. But again, from my experience, every single person I met who decided to do that has not kept up with it. And it's gotten out of hand. So you make your decision for you and what you want to do. But when I go to somebody's yards and I see how close people are planting together, I think they're just asking for more work in the future. And I don't even think it's possible in many of the cases to plant a lychee tree right next to a mame tree like 2 feet apart. But we all have to learn for ourselves. And I know some of you might have been successful for several years planting close. I know Alex at Tropical Acres plants 8 feet apart. And with the idea eventually of taking one tree out in the middle and of ultimately leaving them 16 feet apart. He wants to get a couple of years of fruit from that middle tree. But I think in the long run, 16 to 20 feet, maybe even more on certain trees would be ideal. That's what I've learned. So let me know your experience. Put it below. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you're not already subscribed and you're interested in videos like this. If you have a yard and you're growing, whether it's close or far apart, and you want me to come out and film, my email's below, so contact me, especially if you're in South Florida. I'd love to get your experience and your trees on camera. Until then, everybody, have a great day and keep growing.